Hello and welcome to the Charles Cook Podcast. Focus of this podcast is local and state issues here in the state of Tennessee. Uh, so I just want to jump on here right quick and update you on the city of Morristown City Council doing a 180 on their election issues and their charter change. So, as many of you know who have followed my podcast and viewed the videos, back on September the 19th, the Morristown City Council voted to change its charter and make that all city council representatives, city council members would be elected at large seats, and doing away with wards seats because of the changes that took place by the state legislature. The state changed the law that said that if you had ward or district seats, that only the people that lived in those wards or districts could vote and elect those, instead of them being required to live in those wards or districts but elected citywide. So the state made that change. The city council come back, decided that they were going to do away with the wards and change it to all at large. We had video. I had video provided to me that stated why they wanted to do that. The more or less the city mayor stating that they might get people that were that they deemed, that he deemed, as not qualified candidates if the people in the wards or districts only got to elect the people who represented them in those districts. So, long story short, on September the 19th, the Morristown City Council voted in a vote of 5-1 that they would go send that charter change to the state legislature for approval. The only dissenting vote on that was Joseph Center. He was newly elected back in May of 2023 this year. He voted against it. Chris Bivens, who was not there, who had been out with back surgery, was not there to vote. And so it was a 5-1 vote. Fast forward now, 2 months later, on November the 21st, almost 2 weeks, be 2 weeks tomorrow, the Morristown City Council does a 180 and decides to change their charter to meet what the state law says, that, okay, we're going to have 4 ward seats, 2 at-large seats, and 1 mayor. The people running for the ward seats would have to live and qualify in their wards, and then only the people in those wards could vote for them. That means there's no more crossing over, that if you live in Ward 3, the folks in Ward 1 could vote for who represents Ward 3. Only those people who live in Ward 3 could vote for their Ward 3 city council representative. It's the way it should be. That's the way it works all throughout the country, in the state, of electing our Senate and state representatives if they have their districts, and only the people in those districts can vote for them. That's the way our county elections are done. So, and then you have the mayor, that is the mayor of Morristown, or Hamlin County mayor. The whole city, the whole county gets to vote for them. And then you have the 2 at-large seats that are, as I say, at large, and the whole city gets to vote for those at-large seats. So you have 3 representatives on the council who really are at large, the mayor and 2 at large, and then the 4 ward seats that would be elected only by the people in those wards, that community. So they decided to do that. So on November the 21st, they brought that resolution back up. Now, why? Why the change? Well, you know, I'm being told by people connected to the state that the state looked at it and refused to take it. And, you know, just have to ask those state members why they refused to accept that charter change. You know, I'm not going to go any further than that, but, you know, but there was no justification of why the city wanted to redo this and go back to it. You know, they just 2 months before voted to make everything at large, and now they have to go back. They had to go back and change it to the way the state said, you know, what they had with the at-large seats and the ward seats, and make it conform to state law. So questions were asked. Why? Crickets. Got nothing. I didn't ask those questions. Other people did. And I have a video that I'm going to share with portions of that city council meeting and show what happened in the city council meeting. I was there for the first vote. You know, I work for a living just like a lot of people, so I had to get up and get out of there and go live life. So I'm going to share that video, portions of that video with you, and show you some of the things that happened. In the first video I'm going to show you is the original vote to change it from what they had in September, and you'll hear the city administrator say that. And then there will be a discussion where Councilman Center asks some questions, and he's new. So I guess he's kind of confused what's going on here. And you'll see the vote. He votes against it, and then they come back later and correct it because he's confused. And then I'm going to show you the mayor's comments at the end of the meeting. So bear with me for a minute, and I will share this screen with you. And we will get this going here. And I just want to share this with you so you understand what's going on here. So here is the vote to redo what happened on September the 19th. And this took place on November the 21st.
And the minutes of November 7th are approved. We move to resolutions. We have two, the first of which numbered Resolution 2023-22. This being a resolution of the City of Morristown requesting the General Assembly of the State of Tennessee to amend the Private Act Charter of the City of Morristown.
Mayor, this resolution before you replaces the resolution adopted in September. The change reflects 4 council seats that will be selected by ward rather than at large.
Is there a motion to accept this resolution?
So
Motion Bivens. Do we have a second? We do have a second. Any questions or comments?
Now, what we voted on in September was, it got pretty much voted out in the state representatives, is that right? So we're just going back trying to do it with them now again? Because I thought that was dead in the water.
this resolution replaces the one, the state legislature is not yet convened, so they've taken no action.
It hadn't gone to the state legislature yet. We just changed what we're sending them. Any other questions or comments? Are we ready to vote? Let's vote. And the motion carries.
Okay, so as you've seen, and you heard Councilman Joe Center ask the question, well, I thought this was dead in the water, what are we doing? And you hear the city administrator, Tony Cox, say, we're just, this hadn't gone to the to the legislator yet, just redoing what did in September. I mean, Gary Chesney says that it hadn't gone to the state legislature yet. So, they changed it. They didn't send it. So it tells you that something was going on with the state legislature that must have rejected. So anyway, so I'm going to take you to the point where the council comes back and revisits the issue because there was some confusion, and Joseph Center wants to fix his vote.
May I have a point of order just for a few minutes before we move into the next? And let me talk to my council member here just for a minute. May I do that?
Yeah, I didn't know that was called a point of order.
Or point of privilege?
Yes, you can have that privilege.
Okay, Joe.
Can you do that now?
Okay, Mayor, if we may, revisit, I'd like to make a motion that revisit 10A because Councilman Joe Center, tell him what you really want to vote.
I want to keep the wards. And it was moving kind of fast here, and I didn't, maybe I didn't understand
So
it.
you want to vote yes?
He wants to vote yes.
That would change that vote to unanimous.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Okay, let the record show.
Well, we need to go back and do that.
Is that right? We have to do.
Yeah, we'll have to go back and change.
We need to revisit.
I didn't mean cause no trouble, but
That's
I'm.
okay. I just didn't want you to go on and not be.
We got a question here on the right steps on, we've adopted agenda. If we're making a change to an adopted agenda, what's the
Well,
hoops
no.
we jump through?
Yeah, we're not changing the agenda, we're just going back to
Revisit the vote.
10A1.
Just like we did at TML 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
We made a motion to revisit an item. Is that correct?
So we need to get somebody to second that, and then y'all vote on that. and then
All right.
go back.
So the proper motion would be Councilmember Center makes the motion that we revisit 10A1. Is there a second to that motion? Second. Yeah, we're all voting.
Everybody votes again.
Okay, all in favor of the motion to revisit, vote. And it passes. We now have before us, under resolutions, 10A, item 1. Is there a motion to accept resolution 2023-22? Motion Bivens, is there a second? Bivens. And do we have a second? Now we have a second. Are we ready to vote?
Okay, and the motion is, if you'll state
The
it.
motion is that, that we approve this resolution.
Which is that we will be qualified, qualified by wards and be elected by those individuals who live
Correct.
in that ward.
Thank
favor
you.
of that?
I'm not,
You're good.
okay.
All right, let's
So,
vote.
just for clarification, the motion is to approve the resolution as presented in the package.
Yes, sir.
Let's vote. So what we did, we went from 6-1 to 7-0. All right.
Before we go any further,
So there you saw where they come back and fix the vote because council member was confused on what was going on. So now I want to take you to the mayor's comments at the end. I'll share that with you.
We now move to comments from the mayor and council, and I'd like to start off, but just comments on, we've approved a pretty important resolution that we have cleaned up an awful lot of language in a charter. And the one that got the most attention was how we had to be in compliance with a change in state law. And this was quite different in how we elect our council members. And I want it to be known, I'm speaking for myself, and I've learned better than to say I think I speak for council. We've never been opposed to having representatives live in a ward. We've never been opposed to that. What we were opposed to, and what state law has done, it has taken away the rights of city voters to vote for half of their council members. That's not quality representation. And we have not happy about our legislature for making that change. But if the interpretation is that's the way it has to be done, of course, we'll be in compliance with that. So I think to say we wanted to do away with wards and have next door neighbors run is certainly a distortion of what the truth of this council was. And I'd like to make those comments public.
Okay, so there we go. And if you want to hear the comments that was made by the mayor in the video, you'll just have to go back and watch one of my other podcasts about the city of Morristown election issues. But the fact is, the mayor just said in that video there, he was never opposed to there being wards. No, he wasn't opposed to those ward seats. What he was opposed to was the people in those wards picking who represented them. He wanted the whole city to vote on who represented those wards instead of the people in that community. So he says you're restricting the city voters from selecting their council members. No, they select two at large. And then what you are doing, what the old process was doing, was denying those people in those communities from selecting who they in the community wanted to represent them. As I've stated before, and what happened to me, you can win the ward. Straight out, your community, you can win that and have other people select who represents that ward or that community. It actually happened to me in 2021. So that's what he was opposed to. He didn't want the people in those wards in that community selecting their representatives, their council members. He wanted the city wide to do that because they had more control. As he said in the video that started all this with the mayor's comments, well, we may get someone that we don't want, that we deem that is not qualified. And the way to keep this from happening is we have to make it at large to keep this from happening. In a ward where you might have, as his numbers said, 72 voters, if 39 votes for a candidate that they don't want, then you're stuck with that candidate. Well, that's called representation. That's who they picked. It may not be who the mayor wants, but that's who the people in that district or ward voted for. And that's representation. But they were denying those people in those wards and those communities from selecting who they wanted. And he spins it as who the city voters want. You know, that's like here in District 10, where Morristown is located, majority of the city of Morristown is located in District 10. Rick Eldridge is our state representative for District 10. And the people in District 10 vote for Rick Eldridge. No one else. The way the mayor wants it is it would be like people in Memphis and Nashville voting for our District 10 representatives. And then saying that we are denying the people in Nashville and Memphis their right to vote for our district representative. This is what the mayor's trying to explain away. That's not the way it's supposed to work. And the state legislature seen that in this last session. And that's why they made those changes. If you are going to run wards, then this is the way it's got to be. And they fixed that issue. And he's spinning it that they done wrong. No, they fixed it. They made it right. And that's all. So this stuff, oh, we were never against this. I can't speak for the council, but I know what the mayor said on video, and that's what he wanted. He's publicly, he said it on video. You can watch it on my other podcast. I'm not going to take the time to play it again. I've played it 2 or 3 times. So that's what the mayor wanted. And, you know, hey, by his justification, he would do away with the electoral college. He would be having, you know, it's like people in California voting for our governor. Are we no, you can't do that. Are we denying the people in California the right to vote for our governor? By his thinking, that's what we're doing. So hopefully this is over. Do I trust him? No, I don't. But hopefully this is a done deal now and it's fixed. And the people, no matter how they vote, if the people vote for their representative at the city council and it's for whoever, then that's who they choose. But the people in that ward are to be able to pick that person, not the people from another ward in the city. That, my friends, is what they call democracy. What we have is a constitutional republic, a representative form of government, a constitutional republic, a representative form of government. You in your community pick your representative, not someone else. With that, good day. Thank you for joining me. Please share this video. God bless you. We'll see you on the next podcast. Bye-bye.